Good morning to all the participants. I'm the speaker. We welcome you all for today's session of FGP Phase 1, sponsored by AICTE. Today we have Ms. Ankita Purane as our guest speaker. She is an Innovation and Ecosystem Development Officer. She has a total experience of 4 years in life science startup incubation ecosystem. She holds a master degree in biotech domain from MS Ramaya Institute of Technology and a bachelor's of engineering in biotech domain from Basveshwara Engineering College. She started her career in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center's technical team as a technical officer, wherein she is responsible for handling, operating, and maintaining a huge central instrumentation facility consisting of a number of high-end equipments. She has also worked at ICR, NVIDIA's Agriculture Business Incubation Center under RKVY Raftar as assistant manager, where she was responsible for developing and executing strategy for outreach, hunting, attracting and onboard deserving and qualified innovation entrepreneurs and startups, designing and managing incubation and acceleration. Presently, she is working as Innovation and Ecosystem Development Officer at Bangalore Bioinnovation and is responsible for developing and executing the innovative engagement strategy for the entire startup community, including academics, startups, investors, corporates, mentors, advisors, and domain experts. And she's also taking care of all the outreach activities, including events organization. So, on behalf of the student staff management of the Oxford College of Engineering, we are happy to have you as our speaker, Ms. Anita Purani. So, it's a welcome from our end, and it is over to you to start the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the introduction about me. And I'm very glad to be a part of this wonderful faculty development program and would like to associate with all the faculties that are present here. I'll share my email ID and I request all of you to be in touch with us. You can go through our website, follow us on social media so that you'll be updated about what do we do and how it can help you to perform your projects, your mini projects, your assignments, your students' internship programs, etc. in a better way. So, yes, today I'll be talking about what is the startup ecosystem and what are the funding opportunities available. We'll be mainly focusing on BIG. BIG is a Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is a flagship scheme of BIRAC. And yes, so to begin with, I'll just cover up what is a startup ecosystem in Karnataka, particularly what is Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, what do we do, and then we'll move on to what is Biotechnology Ignition Grant. So Karnataka is an emerging bioinnovation hub in the whole country, and it's one of the top performer along with Kerala, and it has a very strong ecosystem for startups. This is according to 2019 survey done by DPIIT, Government of India. So they have awarded Karnataka's startup ecosystem as one of the top performer. Yes, talking about few numbers, we have 8,000 plus startups alone in Bangalore. I'm talking just in Bangalore, not in any other tier 2 or tier 3 cities. So just in Bangalore, we have 8,000 plus startups, registered startups. The average valuation of these startups in the whole state is $3.3 million, and it's the first state to announce multi-sector startup policy, and Bengaluru is ranked world's top 11th city for startups, and of course in India it's one of the top, and second fastest growing startup ecosystem Bengaluru has. Showing here a few prominent players of Karnataka, we have Anthem Bioscience, Bugworks, there is String Bio Private Limited, Janacare, Biocon, Novozymes, Panduram, there is C6 Energy, Indra, Syngene, and many more. I've just listed down few here. So these are all founded in Bangalore and have already reached greater heights and hoping to reach even greater heights in future. Among this, there is a String Bio, there is a Janacare, Bandaram. These are all physically incubated here in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. And when it comes to other prominent players like Anthem Bioscience, there is Biocon, there is Novozymes, there is Bugworks. So we are greatly associated with them. I mean, we are busy in conducting a lot of events in cooperation with them. In fact, there was a session yesterday wherein no, from Novozymes there was a representation by G.S. Krishnan, who is the director of stakeholders of Novozymes. He was present and he gave a talk yesterday. So we are greatly touched with all of these prominent players in the state, and we help all the startups by connecting them with the industry leaders. So these are prominent milestones that Karnataka government has achieved when it comes to startup ecosystem. So way back in 2013, the Helix Biotech Park was planned and it started in 2013. Helix Biotech Park is located in Electronic City Phase 1, wherein there is IBAB, there is CHD, there is the Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and what do you yeah, there's a great synergy that has developed between the academics, the industries, and the startup ecosystem. So this synergy is possible just because the Helix Biotech Park is existing in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. Otherwise, it's very tough the students to have an entrepreneurial exposure to see a startup ecosystem in the same campus, and also the industry leaders and industry future support area. So all of this came together in Helix Biotech Park, which was founded in 2013. And then NAIN, New Age Incubation Center, which is known as an NAIN networking program that was started in 2014. Bangalore Bioinnovation Center was inaugurated in February 2015 and is operational since the later months of 2015. Karnataka's multi-sector startup policy was announced in November 2015. Startup India was founded in 2016, and the Center of Excellence was started in 2019 by Government of Karnataka. And the encouragement for COVID-19 innovation began from 2019 onwards. So when it comes to the Karnataka biotech startup sector and the funding, Elevate plays a very prominent role. Most of you might have heard about Elevate 100 program, which was earlier known as Idea to POC. Idea to Proof of Concept was the theme. It started with that name way back in 2017, and it started giving funds of like 50 lakhs per startups in the sector of biotechnology, and later from the next year onwards it was named as Elevate 100. So it provides the early stage funding, and the implementation partner for this particular scheme is Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. And there are hundreds of startups who have funded across different sectors through Elevate program. It's one of the leading program which is I mean, when you club the overall amount of all the fundings, when you compare it, Elevate 100 has the highest. And it has convergence with agriculture, tourism, science and technology departments, etc. Special funds for specific sector specific startups also has been announced. And yeah, the one who has already gone through the funding from Elevate 100, for them the virtual incubation is also permitted. So funding initiatives, as I already told, Elevate 100 Idea to POC was launched in 2015 with a grant in aid of 50 lakhs for the validation of proof of concept, which was later known as Elevate 100, wherein they select the top 100 technology-based startups from not only from biotech, I'm speaking about all the sectors, and 400 crore rupees of government funds have been invested in this, and it's one of the largest pool of fund ever offered by any state government to the startups. So we should be proud of being in Karnataka ecosystem in this aspect. And they've already announced the seed funds. In fact, the Bangalore Bioinnovation Center is also open for the seed funds, which provides the capital assistance to startups with new ideas. And yes, also happy to announce that the seed funds of Bangalore Bioinnovation Center is already announced and the applications are open. Whoever is interested can go through our website to find out the information or can write it to me. So the seed fund also helps in bridging between the promoters, investors, VCs, angel investments, etc. They've also announced BioVenture Fund for startups and early stage and SMEs. Maximum funding is 3.5 crores and minimum funding is 1 crore. So this is about funding that I spoke. Now I'll be speaking about promotion and networking, wherein the startup cell of Karnataka it conducts various events, international level events, wherein there are 50 plus countries take a participation. There will be all the political leaders, industrial leaders, and it will be a congregation of all type of stakeholders in the biotech sector. Like Tech Summit, Bengaluru Tech Summit happens in the month of November every year. This year it was virtual, and bioeconomy conclave happens every year in collaboration with ABLE. There will be Bengaluru Nano, India Nano, Startup Industry Interaction Meetup and Expo, Global Bio India. This happens in collaboration with the BIRAC. I mean, BIRAC takes a major role in organizing Global Bio India. There will be Horticulture Fair by ICRIHR, Krishi Mela, and sponsorship events for exposure visits, BioKorea and BioUS. So this is very interesting aspect. BioKorea, BioUS happens at a very higher level, wherein all the countries, mostly all the biotech leading countries, participate in these events. And Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, what it does, it sponsors the startups, the co-founder of the startups, for their travel, for their visit, for their registration, for their learning process. So they sponsor, the startup goes there, represent, and they gain their networking and promotional activities, and that's how Bangalore Bioinnovation Center is helping their startups when it comes to international events. So as I already mentioned about Helix Biotech Park, here we are in institutional support with IBAB, Institute of Bioinformatics and Applied Biotechnology. We have a Center for Human Genetics in the same campus. They both contribute in the institutional academic area support, and Bangalore Bioinnovation Center as Innovation and Translational Research Center. And we have upcoming Life Science Biotech Park, which is from Lab Zone. And recently, Shri B.S. Yediyurappa was here to do the Bhumi Pujan of this particular industrial and future support area, and it has already been started constructing, and we are hoping to have it very shortly. So this is the synergy I was talking about in my previous slides. And we, being the Bioinnovation Center, our key functions are extremely important. Key functions are infrastructure and funding, and then comes the mentoring, networking and branding. So our infrastructure, I'll be showing you a few clips, what do we have and how it can help you, being the faculty of different colleges and having a good number of students and dealing with many projects which are very important, how we can help you. I'll be showing you that. And yes, as a part of funding, I'll be dealing with Biotechnology Ignition Grant. And the key areas that we cater to are healthcare. In healthcare, there is medtech, pharma, biopharma, all the aspects we are dealing with. There is a food and nutrition, agriculture biotechnology, environmental biotechnology, and industrial biotechnology. So any startups covering any of these aspects, addressing to any of the unmet needs in these particular areas can reach us, will help them out. And we don't have a mandatory point that only the startups has to be associated with us. We are also open for individual entrepreneurship. Those who are having a great idea which are commercially possible, and who have a great model, business model, and that has a strong science which is innovative, novel, etc. Such projects we welcome them. And yes, as an individual entrepreneur also you can approach us, and students entrepreneurs are also welcome. And yes, I'm showing you a few clips of the infrastructure. Incubation suites. We have large incubation labs, smaller ones, and the bench space. So to start with, a startup company, let me just go through the startup definition before I tell about what is startup, how do they start their journey in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. A startup by DPIIT Government of India is defined as a company which is registered, and the initial 10 years of phase is known as the startup phase. and it should not cross the 10 years. So once you register, the first 10 years is considered as startup phase, and the 11th year you are no more a startup. And the second criteria is the company should not be having more than 100 crores of revenue. So if you cross 100 crores, it is not a startup, and it should be either private limited registered or a proprietorship registered or LLP registered. So you have to be registered by these three names, and yes, these are the three criteria set by DPIIT, Government of India, and in the whole country the same definition is followed. And when it comes to different levels of funding, they give their own criteria, eligibility criteria as well. And also your startup should be innovative, it should be novel. That is also very important. Unlike very service oriented or business oriented, we support the novelty and innovation. So once you have an idea and approach us, you may not require to have a bigger space which accommodates like 5 to 6 people. Anyway, there is open space. There is other space for central instrumentation facility here, which is open for everybody, all types of incubation people here. And ideally, what people do here is they register their company, they come here, or many individual entrepreneurs also, they approach us, they take up the bench space. Bench space will accommodate for 2 people, and they are open to have the central instrumentation facility also. So they will start with that, and they start writing their grants. Once they win the grant, be it elevate 100, which gives you 50 lakhs, or biotechnology ignition grant that also gives you 50 lakhs. Once they win, they start hiring people. They will hire the team. There'll be 4 to 5 people in a team, generally, I'm talking generally. So that's when they take up the small incubation space, which is of like 200 to 260 square feet, and they will start their wet lab process. And once they see the greater heights, they hire again, and then they go for a larger incubation suites. So this is the general model that people are following. Anyway, it's flexible, and all the incubatees have their own plans. And once you approach us, we'll help you with how you can go ahead. We advise you on that note. And we have other facilities like meeting room, conference room, and training room. So talking about the central instrumentation facility, it was, it was funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. Although it is a state government initiated, Bangalore Bioinnovation Center is state government initiated center, wherein it falls under Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and Science and Technology, Government of India, and Dr. Ashwath Narayan is heading us. When you see the overall aspect, and the infrastructure and everything was funded by state government, and Department of Biotechnology, Government of India has funded us for the instrumentation facility. So this is the instrumentation facility that we have. I'll be showing you a few clips. So I guess all the faculty present here belong to Department of Biotechnology, and I request them to go through our website and reach us for any kind of facility requirement. So this is the cell culture facility. We have tissue culture and cell culture laboratories, mammalian cell culture. There is a bacterial cell culture facility also. So it's a clean room to avoid the contamination. In each laboratories of cell culture, we have a CO2 incubator, we have laminar flow hoods, inverted microscopes, and many others. So each suit is fitted with all these equipments which are for your usage. We also have ultra low freezers that goes to minus 80 degrees Celsius, and we have cryo preservation facility. We have our own liquid nitrogen generation plant, and we support you with your cell storage also in the liquid nitrogen. This is a molecular biology facility where we have PCR, RT-PCR, gene pulsar, digital gel analysis systems, automated liquid handling systems, so many more. These are just, I'm showing you a few clips. We have multiple in number, like the PCR. When it comes to PCR, we have more than 12 PCRs. So present in 2 molecular biology laboratories that we have. So whatever required for you, you can just intimate us. We'll book you the slot, and then you can come here and perform your equipments. Unlike other institutions wherein they will ask you to give the sample, they will analyze and give you the result. But here in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, we follow that you yourself can be with us when we are analyzing your sample. So yeah, this is our molecular biology facility. There is a proteomics and small scale analysis laboratory. We have nano DSC, nano ITC, which are quite rare, and there is ACTA Avant FPLC. There is a GC, and we have LCMS, HPLCs from Shimadzu, from Waters India, different makes and different level of analysis. We have also coming up with MSMS system very shortly. So you can reach us for any kind of requirements. This is microbiology facility. We have bug box wherein you can perform your what do you call uh, experiments that requires no air in it. So you can perform uh, yeah, flow cytometry, cell sorter facility. We have histology, microtome, vibrotome, cell stainer, etc. We have fermentation facility starting from 1 liters, 3 liters, 5 liters, 10 liters, and 15 liters. We are also planning to come up with a 100 liters facility. And yes, to keep all these instrumentation safe, we have a DG UPS backup, and there is a TP STP plant to assure the safety. And then there is a liquid nitrogen generation plant, as I already mentioned. Yeah, that was all about our central instrumentation facility. And apart from this, we also help with intellectual property cell. We have our own IP cell, which is headed by Dr. Mary. She'll be reaching you shortly in maybe next session. So we take care of prior art search, patentability, freedom to operate, patent landscaping, patent validity, infringement analysis. We also take care of facilitation of IP filing and prosecution for all our incubatees, not only incubatees, also the associated startups with us. We also have a separate division for environment, health and safety to ensure the safety of all the incubatees here. And we are also implementing ISO very shortly. And agriculture, food and nutrition division also. Okay. Sorry. So I was saying about agriculture, food and nutrition division, and I'm also very happy to share with you that we have received a funding of 20 crores from Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, and we are coming up with something called Farm Innovation Center, which we are all very excited to establish it, and is going to come very shortly. Yes, we also have one of the mandate to enhance our innovation ecosystem in terms of global, national and regional. When it comes to global linkages, you can see the pictures here. We have Victorian Premier Mr. Daniel, who had visited us last year and who appreciated a lot for the Karnataka startup ecosystem, especially Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. And Miss Kate Jones, who is the Minister of Innovation in Australia, Victoria, she had also visited us. We had undergone with a lot of delegation process when it comes to international. These are just few clips, and Japanese delegation was here. And you might be knowing that we have signed an MOU with the Japanese External Trade Organization, which is called as JETRO. And it was done in presence of Sri Yediyurappa last year, and we had a Chinese delegation. And as I already mentioned, Bio US, Bio Korea, we represent Karnataka, and we represent we help our startups to represent themselves in such huge events also. Yes, you can see the clips here wherein we are associated with the Japanese Trade Organization by signing an MOU, and it gives a very soft landing opportunity for Japanese startups to come and work here at Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and similarly our startups there. That was the main motto of the MOU. Yes, when it comes to national linkage, we conduct workshops. We are very active in organizing many workshops in a national level. Like there will be workshop on artificial intelligence, machine learning in healthcare, and there will be workshops on leveraging IP, and a lot of product launch happened at BIRAC and at our own state government, and National Defence Council was here, and we also attended the roundtable meeting organized by Indian Council for Food and Agriculture and NASSCOM 10,000 startups. So we also create innovation system in the regional linkage. We have signed MOU with IHR, University of Agriculture Sciences Bangalore, IIM Bangalore, NITE University, Government Ayurveda College, RV College, BMS College, Sri Sri Ayurveda College, and many more. These are just few I have listed here down. And we provide the students an opportunity to interact with us. We invite them here. Most of them approach by themselves to have an industrial visit. They come here, they'll have a whole day here at Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. We deliver talk to them, and we show them the whole facility. We interact with them, and it's kind of fun learning for them as well as for us also. It's a very good advantage in order to expand our student innovation ecosystem. And these are few clips wherein there was a GKVK, RV College, PS College who were here at Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. Yes, that's about innovation system ecosystem, and let me just take 2 minutes to talk about battle against COVID-19, how Bangalore and Bioinnovation Center helped in this particular aspect. So back to 2019 when the COVID was hit the first time in India, and it was a lockdown. Even then, Bangalore Bioinnovation Center invited for a separate program, that is battle against COVID-19. It invited startups and innovators to come up with a innovative solution in order to combat this COVID-19. And the applications received were around 140. And then we selected few, maybe some 80, and then we shortlisted finally some 32 startups, and we gave them the space here. We provided them the whole infrastructure. I mean, we kept the laboratories open. We provided them all the requirements that were extremely important, since it was the need of the hour. And we came up with, I'm very happy to share this, very proud to share this, that 24 such products we have launched in the month of July, August, and September. This was launched in a national platform by Shri Ashwath Narayan CN, who is the Deputy Chief Minister and Minister of Electronics, ITBT and SNT Government of Karnataka. And yes, you can see a few pictures here, wherein automated RNA isolation and isothermal amplification kit was launched in the month of May. And then this was the second launch, where we launched some 7 products: Shieldx 24, fluorescent probes and RT-PCR mix, and then KR and Daksh, which is a fetal monitoring device, Deconto VTM, which is a viral transport media, artificial intelligence based device for the detection of COVID-19, wherein your X-ray can help you in detecting COVID-19. So that system was launched. Antimicrobial face wash and many other day-to-day healthcare usage products were also launched. So this is a third launch where there were some 7 products again, which had a multi-commodity CD4 shield, Beamro T, immune booster, daily drops, Vegiful, water sanitizer, kitchen tap, antimicrobial HVAC system module. So all these products were launched during third. And yes, this was the fourth launch, where Nucleo DX RT, which was again the PCR relevant product. COVID DX, Mplex 3R and 4R models were released. Dr. Tapman, safe biosecurity solutions, UV Beamer, UV Conveyor, AI-based chain mobile app. So these were a few more applications that we had, products that we had launched. So I already spoke regarding we being the implementation partner for funding schemes like Idea to PSC or Elevate. These are the 38 startups that we have supported them as an implementation partner. So they come here, they utilize a facility, and we fund them as they are the winners of this Elevate or Idea to PSC. We fund them, and they are greatly associated with us. These are few companies. And a few achievements to highlight: we have already achieved 100% occupancy in BBC infrastructure, wherein 68 physically supported startups are here. So what I'm speaking is, it's not virtual incubation or associated incubation I'm speaking. 68 startups are physically here, and we have established a medtech incubator under BioNest scheme of BIRAC. There's a seed fund grant of 1 crore that we have received, and there's a KSAP Bio 50, a mentorship program. We have received 3 crores there. And we have already launched, yes, I already spoke that 24 products have been launched under COVID-19, and there are many more products, maybe 6+ products that we have launched in Global Bio India last year. Yeah, we have also organized MedTech Got Talent in collaboration with MedTech Actuator in the Victorian Government of Australia. We also have conducted leveraging IPR in pharma and biopharma sector. We have come up with the initiation called Janati. It's a newsletter which comes quarterly, and it contains different developments from scientific, legal, and economic perspectives of world of healthcare, medtech, biopharma, agriculture, and industrial and micro and environmental biotechnology. And we have generated 400 number of employments in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, which is quite a big number when it comes to biotechnology sector. And as I already mentioned, IDT-POC. So let us talk now about Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is a flagship scheme of BIRAC. BIRAC is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, which falls under Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. And yes, just brief you about what it is. BIRAC is a not-for-profit Section 8 enterprise set up by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and its aim is to play a transformative and catalytic role in building a $100 billion Indian bioeconomy. And BIRAC believes that biotech startups and SMEs play a very vital role in doing so. And biotechnology industry in India has 600 plus core biotechnology startups, approximately 2,600 plus biotech startups, and over 100 plus BIRAC supported and DST supported bio incubators, and Bangalore Bionation is one among them. India being the third largest biotech destination in Asia Pacific region, organizations like BIRAC and Bangalore Bioinnovation Center plays a vital role in life science entrepreneurs' journey. So with this, BIRAC started with different schemes like SIBRI, BIPP, CRS, Biotechnology Ignition Grant, BIG, etc. There are many more. So what it has done is it has divided the Indian map into different regions, and it has selected highly performing, very well performing cities, and it has chosen a few incubators and made them as big partners. So I'm just listing you the big partners that are currently present. There are 8 incubators who are known as big partners: Sign IIT Bombay, Venture Center Pune, SIIC IIT Kanpur, A Idea Naam Hyderabad. There is FIIT IIT Delhi, KIIT Bhubaneswar, IKP Knowledge Park Hyderabad, and CCAM Bengaluru. These are the big partners through whom one has to submit their proposal. And Bangalore Bioinnovation Center has recently associated with BIRAC as an associate big partner, and we are engaging ourselves in spreading the awareness across the country about Biotechnology Ignition Grant. So there are different BIRAC schemes, as I mentioned few. Few starts from idea to proof of concept. For example, Biotechnology Ignition Grant. It allows you, it is specifically for an entrepreneur who has an idea and prove a proof of concept. So from idea stage to proof of concept, Biotechnology Ignition Grant is one. And as an individual entrepreneur also you can apply here, and as a company also you can apply here. Early stage development fund, there is a SIBRI. SIBRI is one of the very well-known funding program of BIRAC, which is a small business innovation research initiative, which is pre-POC. It's a public-private partnership program. And then comes the BIPP, Biotech Industry Partnership Program, which is for the product evaluation and validation. That comes late stage development fund after your POC level. And there are alternate funding programs specifically for academics. There is Sitare EUA for the students from idea to POC, from idea stage to POC, they can prove. And there is a PACE, PACE program is specifically for academic innovations for faculty and research scholars can apply here. And then comes the CRS. CRS is a contract research scheme which helps you to validate your prototype. And for this particular scheme, you have to be associated with the industrial partner for more. So all of you can go through all these schemes and check where you are eligible, how you can apply for these funding programs in the BIRAC's website. So what is the scheme? Biotechnology Ignition Grant is a flagship scheme of BIRAC, and it selects the ideas with potential, which are potential to translate into commercial products or technology. This is a very strong point one has to consider before they go for this particular application, because your idea that you are applying should have a very strong commercial viability nature. It is extremely important, because there are many people come up with proposals like comparative studies, the research studies, which have no commercial value. Such programs, such ideas are not entertained in this particular program. And BIG supports individual entrepreneurs and startups from ideation to proof of concept. I already explained this. There is a granted aid support of 50 lakhs of Indian rupees for the winners of BIG, and this happens in the duration of 18 months. So once you win this big grant, in the 18 months, next 18 months, you will be receiving the 50 lakhs of your granting aid amount from your partner, through your partner by BIRAC. So what all are the categories that BIG supports? There is industrial biotechnology, agriculture, bioinformatics and its facilities, drugs including drug delivery and vaccines, biosimilars and stem cells, devices and diagnostics. So when it comes to industrial biotechnology, there is a waste management, sanitation and clean energy. So these three aspects they mainly cover when it comes to industrial biotechnology. And in the agriculture sector, there is secondary agriculture, biopesticides, biofertilizers, food processing, animal husbandry, fisheries, sericulture, aquaponics, poultry, etc. So any project relevant to these aspects fall under agriculture. And in the devices and diagnostics, there is engineering, artificial intelligence, there is Internet of Things, sensors, big data analytics, cloud computing, machine learning, automation, robotics, and related disciplines. These fall under devices and diagnostics. So one can categorize their own their project and apply in particular category. So let's talk about what is supported and what is not supported when it comes to biotechnology ignition grant. So supported an idea that has a motto of establishing or validating proof of concept is definitely supported in biotechnology ignition grant. And the ideas which are basic in nature, which have exploratory research projects, are not considered as supported projects in BIG. So when it comes to basic and exploratory research, it may include the market studies, or it may include the sampling studies, or it may include the repetition of the experiment studies also. So I'm in a meeting. Just a minute. I'm sorry for the disturbance. Basic and exploratory research ideas are not supported here. Be it market studies, sampling studies, repetition of the experiments, repetition of the work that is already established in any research article or anywhere else. So you have to go through a very strong IP studies in prior. There is a strong prior art which is required to do before you apply here. Yes, comes to the second point. I already mentioned about the IPR potential. Your project should be novel, extremely novel, and it should be innovative. It should not be proven prior in kind of any source, be it media, be it a research article, be it a book or anywhere. So in any kind of source of information, your idea shouldn't have been appear, and these are such projects are not entertained here, and projects having low element of novelty, no commercial potential are not allowed here. Scientific data to demonstrate idea to licensors or investors. So when you go ahead, I mean, when the aim is to give a proof of concept at the end of the big grant, your scientific data that you create, it should be able to demonstrate to the licensors or investors. It should have that potential ability. So such projects are welcome here. And the projects involving systematic clinical trials, field trials, and late stage validation or certification of the technology is not allowed. So as I already mentioned, for clinical trials and field trials, there are different other funding schemes from BIRAC itself. So you can refer to those programs. But here in BIC, no, it only supports you from idea to proof of concept stage. Field trials and clinical trials comes much after that step. And it supports the ideas that have ability to be translated into commercially viable products or technologies to address the unmet need. So this is also a very important step that you have to consider. So the product you come up with in future, when you see your product is commercialized and it is in the market, it should address any of the unmet need of the society. That's the ultimate aim of BIRAC. So that's why you should just cross verify your idea whether it helps to meet the need of the society or not. So such projects are welcome here, and they'll be supported by BIC. And the PhD thesis and mature ventures are not supported in BIRAC's this particular grant. So let's talk about the eligibility to apply. So you can apply here as an individual, and you can apply here as a company or LLP also. So when it comes to individual, you should be firstly an Indian citizen, and the applicant should be a project leader who should have at least the basic graduation in any field. So though the application and the funding scheme is in the biotech sector, but you need not be a biotech expertise or biotech discipline graduation person. So any graduation in any discipline, but you must have a graduation in any discipline are eligible to apply here. And you should submit no objection certificate if you are employed or if you are a student. So this is also very important criteria to cross check. And you should have your incubator identification, and you should not be a big grantee in prior. So when I say incubator identification, why is it necessary? So I already mentioned you what is a startup and what are the main requirements. When your startup has incorporated, there are two things that you are going to check. One is infrastructure, second one is funding. So infrastructure is one most important thing. Funding, when it comes to funding, I'm already explaining to you there is a biotechnology ignition grant. So once you win this grant, what are you going to do? So where you are going to establish, where you are going to do your wet lab studies. So that's a very important step to consider, because you already might be knowing that biotech equipments, life sciences relevant instrumentations is very hard to get, and it's very expensive also. And one person as an individual, it's very difficult to afford for. So it's very important for you to identify an incubator. So for example, if you associate with us for this particular scheme, we'll provide you the letter of intent from Bangalore Bioinnovation Center that once you win the big, you can be associated with us. You can be incubated here at Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and you can utilize our equipment facility. So for this particular made it easy by giving the eligibility criteria that you have to do the incubator identification, and you should not be a big grant. So once you have granted with the 50 lakhs of Indian rupees from big, you cannot apply for the same project again. So these are the 5 basic points as an individual if you are applying. And when it comes to company or LLP, it has to be registered under Indian Companies Act, and at least 51% of the capital owned by resident Indian citizen. So yes, the whole organization, whole of the company, um, the capital should be owned at least 50%, at least 51% by Indian citizen. and 49% can be shares can be referred for any foreign advisor or any foreign collaborator, but at least 51% should be owned by Indian citizen, resident Indian citizen. And your company should not be older than 5 years. I already mentioned you the definition, current definition of startup given by DPIIT Government of India, that says initial 10 years is known as startup phase. That is true, but when it comes to biotechnology ignition grant, they have made it an eligibility that only initial 5 years you can apply for big, not more than that. Once you go to the 6th year of your startup phase, you cannot apply for big scheme. And it should not be a proprietary firm. So this also refers to the similar point that in the startup definition, proprietary firm is considered as an Indian startup, but here only private limited or LLP is allowed to apply. Promoters to hold less than 20% in any other non-biotech company. Yes, the promoters of the company should not be holding higher than 20% in any other company. Of course, non-biotech company you can hold, but in biotech firm you cannot hold more than 20%. That acts as an ineligibility for your particular application. Yes, I already mentioned exception in non-biotech company shareholding, and project leader who is the shareholder in applicant company responsibility. He is alone responsible for all the technical and managerial aspects, and he is alone responsible for presentation of the project and signing of the agreement with BIRAC. So let us talk about the process flow. When the biotechnology ignition grant makes a national call, it gives 1.5 months of time for the application to be submitted. So this time it's the 18th call that was announced on 1st January, and from then it was supposed to be end by 15th of February, but then due to COVID, the previous call, there was a lot of pending work which was unfinished, and that's why they extended it for 1 more month, and now it is open, and 15th March 5:30 p.m. is the deadline for your application, and it has already successfully completed 17 calls throughout India by supporting at least 600 startups by funding them 50 lakhs each, and providing them all the needs. Not only funds, they will also assist you in advising and in giving the incubator opportunities and all that. So it is already successful in 17 such calls, and it's the 18th call that is open now till March 15th. So once BIRAC makes a national call of big, it will give you 45 days generally. And once you submit, firstly they will check whether it meets eligibility criteria or not. This will take the timeline of 15 days. And if it meets the eligibility, it goes to the next phase, that is preliminary screening committee, wherein they will focus on commercialization capability of your project. So that's the main aspect they check here, because the eligibility has already met. The next point is novelty and the commercialization ability. So these 2 points are extremely important in preliminary screening committee, and it takes the duration of 30 days. If it meets the criteria, then it goes to online review. Online review will have experts from 3 to 5 in number who will be experts chosen by BIRAC, and these experts might have studied like 100 to 1000 applications, and they'll go through individual proposal from line to line, word to word. They will go through very keenly with each proposal, and they will select individual proposal. So it will there will be 5 experts reading individually your application, and it will take a longer duration, that is 60 days. And once you're through this step, there will be a thematic TEP face-to-face review. TEP stands for Technical Evaluation Process, and there is a committee again set up by BIRAC for this particular step, and it is the utmost important step when it comes to biotechnology ignition grant, because you will be facing the committee face to face, and there will be scores, and once you score above 60 in this particular step, you will be going for the next step. So in this step particularly, you will be given with the presentation. You have to go there, pitch. Previously it was physical, in these days it is online, and this time in the 18th call what they will do, they have not yet figured it out. I mean, they've not clearly mentioned what they are going to do, but you will be presenting face to face, and you'll be explaining your project idea. There'll be novelty questions, there'll be commercial potential questions, and you'll be facing them directly for like 10 to 15 minutes of time, and it will take 105 days, because there'll be thousands of applications floating, and among that they will have to choose a specific number. So this will take 105 days of time. And once you're through this step, that means once you score above 60 in this particular step, you will go to the final cutoff decision, that is expert selection committee. So there's one more separate committee for this particular step. And yes, once you're through this step, it will take 135 days. You'll have to wait, and the expert selection committee will set up a cutoff marks, and if you fall above that, you will go to the next step. So if you come till here, it will be almost done. Next step will be due diligence by partner. I already have shown you 8 partners for BIRAC throughout India, and you will be you will be choosing at least one partner wherein your application will go through, and they'll do the due diligence by checking your documentations, your personal documentations like government ID cards, PAN card. There will be passport checking, and there will be other documents that you are going to submit, like letter of intent. There will be no objection certificate given from by your institution. So all those documentation keenly they will observe in due diligence step, and after this they will release the funds. So within 2 months you will be signing an agreement with BIRAC, and you will be receiving the first tranche. So they are providing the 50 lakhs doesn't mean at one shot they will give you the whole money. They will so you'll have to submit it in terms of milestones. You'll have to set a milestone, and you'll have to at the end of each milestone you'll have to submit the progress, and accordingly each tranche will be released. So these are the documents to submit. Letter of intent from incubator, where the applicant intends to incubate. This letter of intent will be given by the incubator. So you'll have to approach incubator before you go ahead with the application, and they will support you with giving the letter of intent. You'll have to submit this along with your application. This letter of intent purpose is, once you win the biotechnology ignition grant, you will be incubating there, utilizing their facilities. So for this particular step, BBC Bangalore Innovation Center is welcome, and you can approach us for getting the letter of intent. Person who is employed or registered as a student with an academic or research organization. So what all such person has to submit the documents are no objection certificate, and approval and permission to accept the grant for big proposal. So you have to take the no objection certificate from highest signatory authority of your institution, and it should also permit you to accept the grant from Biotechnology Ignition Grant by the Government of India. So this is a very important step, and you should also submit an undertaking about terminating the association with the current employer and take up the project full time in the event of grant approval. So you should be able to terminate the association if you win the grant. For all those who are the permanent employee of the particular organization. And you should also accept the funding as an individual, and you should manage the funds with a separate no-line account. So this is one more important step, that your account should not be it should be segregated with your personal account. It should not be falling in one account, and it will be very huge burden for your account management. So for that you will have to create a separate account to receive this 50 lakhs and show us the utilization certificate later. So what all are the evaluation parameters? The main evaluation parameters are unmet need. As I already told, the idea should not be such that it will come out as a product and it will not help the society in any way. So such unmet need, the ideas which don't have unmet need of the society are not welcome here. So you should go ahead checking your this particular criteria because it weighs 20% in the application. Value proposition and differentiation has a weightage of 20%. Technical viability has a 30%. Team strength and passion has 15%. Yeah, this is also one more important step to check with, because one person alone who is applying as a project leader or the project investigator will have everything, because few people have the strong scientific mind, they have deep science knowledge to prove their product, but they don't have managerial aspects. So such points are considered when you face the interview with the committee. So you'll have to create a team that has a passion towards working in a startup, and they should complement with each other with the managerial aspects and business aspects and scientific aspects. So this is one more important step. Business perspective, whether it has its potential enough, and does it have a very clarity, and what are the team's review. So this will also carry 15% of weightage. Let us talk about budget planning. So in different heads, different budgeting is required, and you should go through this particular step also before you go ahead for application. For equipment, maximum 30% of the project cost can be utilized. For manpower, 30% of the project cost. It can have mentors, advisors, salaried individuals. Salaried individuals can't draw here. But mentors, advisors, for them it can be given. Consumables are flexible head in a flexible head allowed with justification. You'll have to have a proper justification for this. Outsourcing for your any sample studies and other required outsourcing studies, you can utilize 30% of the project cost. Contingency cost as a 5% maximum. And incubation charges, there will be rental for incubation space or startups and R&D premises at incubator. For example, in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center also there are nominal rental charges that you need to pay here once you are incubated, and you can utilize your budget for this particular purpose. For IP, patent drafting, filing and related services within 1.5 lakhs of your budget, you can utilize it. And for travel, you can utilize within 1.5 lakhs, and other heads limited to market research, patent, working capital, etc. So this budget planning is also very important step before you go ahead for the application. So what are the different milestones and installments? So once you prove your once you are very much clear about your idea to proof of concept, what is the step? In that huge step, you can divide into 3 milestones. So you can divide into 3 milestones and submit in the application, and at the end of each milestones you will be getting different tranches. So once you sign your contract, you will get up to 30%. It is not mandatory that 30% will be given to you. It is up to 30%. It varies from case to case. And once you finish your first milestone, you will be receiving 30% of the grant amount. So this particular step will require you have to be submitting the progress report, the utilization certificate that shows clearly where all you have utilized the previously 30% sanctioned amount, where you have utilized that, and what is your progress from that step to this step, and whether you have successfully achieved this particular milestone or not. So you'll have to submit the required documents for this particular step, and then you will be receiving 30%. And similarly, the second milestone and third milestone. At the end of each milestone, you will have to submit the clear documents that shows how you have utilized how you have utilized with CA signed utilization certificate, and what is your progress level. And after the submission of the project report, the final pending installment will be cleared. Yes, if government is giving you money, definitely they will hold a royalty. Initially, it was not royalty was not a part of it, but recently, from last, I guess, 3 calls, they have introduced this particular point, and they hold 5% of the royalty on your grant, 5% royalty on net sales of the product or technology developed through BIRAC support, till the royalty amount paid becomes equal to the amount of grant in aid assistance disbursed. That means 5% of the royalty, the 5% of the whole net profit that you gain after selling your product or technology, you'll have to submit it to BIRAC, and you have to submit it until you give back 50 lakhs of amount, and after that it is not considered. So 5% of royalty only till you submit your 50 lakhs of grant back to BIRAC. So this is one of the criteria. And then liability to pay royalty will terminate upon the foreclosure or termination of the project as per the terms of GLA. Liability to pay the royalty, this process will terminate upon the foreclosure or termination of the project. And payment for technology transfer and licensing will also be considered in this royalty or of on grant aspect. Yes, what is the application process? Application for BIG needs to be submitted only online, only through the website BIRAC. So you don't have to go to any other website. The website mentioned here, www.birac.nic.in, is the official website of BIRAC, and you have to submit the BIG application in this website only. So it has two steps. Registration. Register to get login credentials. Initially, you have to register in BIRAC's website. Register your company on BIRAC. Firstly, you will have to get the login credentials, and then you have to register your company in this particular website, and then you have to go for filling up the proposal. So proposal submission will have basic information, particular of the applicant. There is a PL and team details. PL is a project leader, and team details has to be submitted. Proposal details has to be submitted, and budgeting that we discussed in my previous slides. So step 2, proposal submission. What are the basic information that you need to provide is applicant type, proposal title, duration, relevant area, big partner, if applied earlier, if yes, then the details. Because the same for the same project, if you have already been awarded with 50 lakhs of big grant, then you will not be receiving it again, or your application will not be considering again. So you'll have to be very much clear about the basic information and the brief background. If a company name, address, contact information, date of incorporation, age of the company, CIN, PAN, MOA, article of association, financial statements, and I already mentioned you that you should be holding more than 51% of shares by Indian citizen, proof of that particular point. Shareholding pattern, number of shareholders, parent company, subsidiary company. If yes, if you have any parent company, then the details of the parent company has to be submitted. If you are a daughter company of any bigger company, then those details has to be submitted here. 20 or more than that shares held by any promoter holding shares in any other company, any other partner related to any other company. So all this information has to be submitted. Availability of lab facility. So this has to be very much clear, because there are cases that they have found out after winning 50 lakhs. They complained regarding there is no infrastructure, there is no laboratory facility, etc. So that's why they made it mandatory for this availability of lab facility. You'll have to submit it showing that your incubator where you intend to incubate has so many facilities which are required for your laboratory scale proof of concept. So availability of the lab facility you'll have to be clear with. Well, if you are willing to take the letter of intent from Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, anyway you will be knowing about what are the lab facilities that we have. You can submit that details. And any other BIRAC grant if you are willing to, if you have already taken, that you have to mention here. Brief background of yourself has to be submitted. That is, if in case of when you are applying as an individual, so you'll have to submit your passport, PAN, NOC for faculty members if associated with any company, incubator name, address, letter of intent, availability of lab facility or any other big grant. So similarly, you will have to check what are the important aspects to think when it comes to proposal submission. So project leader and team details, project leader and his title, full name, gender, designation, contact details, resume has to be uploaded there. Scientific advisors or mentors. Above information is affiliated and what are their areas of expertise. This is very much important. So this you have to be choosing very carefully that all the advisors or mentors or the team members has to be complementing with each other for their individual expertise. Proposal details, proposal summary, you have to submit a concept note. What are your objectives and proposed approach? How novel is a competitive landscape table? So this part also you have to be very careful. So novelty, you must be already knowing how important the novelty aspect is. For example, I'll just give you one or two examples or incubatees. There is a company called Biofi with us, who is incubated at Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. So they are working on identifying the different aspects and figuring out different levels when it comes to the blood sample analysis. So this technology is already known. Everywhere it is implemented in all the hospitals, laboratories, diagnostics, everywhere. But what is the novelty? The novelty is in their particular project, they are assuring us that they will come with a product that has biometric access. So this particular access, your biometric access will give you all these details. Without taking your blood sample, they will give you all the figures that are identified in the blood sample analysis. So this is where the novelty comes in. So such companies are incubated here with us, and such ideas are allowed to apply here. And there is one more company to give an example. There is a company called Next Big Innovation Laboratories, NBIL, incubated in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and they have come up with something called InnoSkin. InnoSkin is a 3D bioprinted skin. So basically, when a drug comes out specifically for skin, it has to be tested, it has to be done the trials in human and in all other model organisms, etc. So before you go for a human testing, so there is one more safety aspect that can be considered here by checking it on this 3D printed InnoSkin. So this particular step will assure you to go ahead for the human trials. So this is also called an innovative project. So you just think in this aspect, how novel it can be, how innovative it can be. So this will add on a lot of points in your application. This will give a lot of weightage. So novelty, competitive landscape table, opportunity, challenges, preliminary work, proposed end outcomes, that is product, service, technology, what is it? So you'll have to be very clear about this. Plan of commercialization, intellectual property, IP owned or prior art done, or FTO. So these things also carries a lot of weightage. References you'll have to submit. Declaration document on ethical, legal, safety, regulatory aspects. Additional relevant document has to be submitted. So this is all about Biotechnology Ignition Grant. I'll just run through points to remember in the overall presentation, that the project must have proof of concept nature. I already mentioned you, should have novelty, address the unmet need, and should be technically feasible, and doability has to be there within 18 months. Yeah, this point is extremely important. You cannot submit a project that takes like 4 to 5 years, because the duration of the whole grant itself is 18 months. So you have to see accordingly that the project that you are submitting, you should be able to, you must be able to come up with the proof of concept at a laboratory scale within 18 months of your start of project. That is very important. So any IP barriers or freedom to operate, this point you have to check again and again to be very careful about this particular point. And yes, we insist you to start the application process early. Don't keep it till the last neck moment, because there are cases that we have seen the last day they'll come running for a letter of intent and all that. So we insist you, please start drafting the application as early as possible, because that will help you to collect all the documentation, necessary letters, etc. Because this application is not that simple. It takes you at least 15-20 days to sit with and to fill it up. So start ASAP. And please be very much clear about the business model that you are proposing, and get necessary letters. This itself will take long time. So that's why you start approaching as early as possible to your organization, to incubator organization, etc. So there should be no objection certificate, incubation letter, letter of intent, etc. And preliminary data validation and supporting documents. If you have any prior research or any research activities you have studied, research papers, scholarly articles, you can just club the information, keep the preliminary data ready, and yeah, these will act as a supporting documents to prove your technology also. And be ready with the team of complementary skill set and advisors. Submit at least 1 week in advance. The deadline, though the deadline is 15th March 2021, we request you to go ahead, start, fill up and finish it ASAP. And yes, one more extremely important point is 5:30 p.m. is the deadline. 15th March 5:30 p.m. because we have also gone through the cases wherein they are thinking that 12 o'clock midnight is the deadline for the application submission, and they will keep it holding till the last moment, and then they fail to submit and they have to wait for 6 more months again. So this is a very important step to keep in your mind, that deadline is 15th March 2021, 5:30 p.m. evening, not midnight. And yes, start filling it up early as possible. Reach us at any point of query, any confusion, any information required. We will try to address it. If not us, at least we will figure it out something somehow. We'll try to bring in the experts to have one-to-one meeting with you all who are willing to apply, and we can help you in any way that we can. So this is about us. Hope I was clear in explaining the biotechnology ignition grant. To just yeah, anybody having any query, please feel free to ask me, or in the chat box if you are right. I have I think Dr. Mary here. Mary ma'am, you are here. Have you joined?
Madam, we'll have Mary Madam session after 11:30.
Okay, but for this particular question answer session,
yeah, we'll make her presenter. We'll make her presenter.
She hasn't joined.
I think she's yet to join.
Okay. Okay, sir.
She'll be joining at 11.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
One question from my end.
Please, please.
Can you help us in bringing these startups into this forum? Will it be possible to bring them into this forum so that they can narrate their success story to all our participants, so that will become an inspiration?
Definitely, sir. We can do that. We have already discussed about this in earlier in our phone calls. So I'm talking to a few experts of the startups who can brief out their journey, because we have I guess 26 in number now, the graduation number. Graduated companies are those who have successfully gone out of Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and they have set up their own infrastructure and doing really great. So such companies we have 26 in number currently. So I'm approaching them also.
26 if you connect them.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, I'm working on it.
Kind of inspiration to all the faculties, and who will go back and inspire their students.
Likewise, sir.
If you can help us 26, it will be of great help for us.
Definitely, we are very glad to do that. In fact, I have already spoken to Dr. Chitendra, who is heading this institution. He's managing director of Bangalore Bioinnovation Center, and I have spoken to him also about this, and he's very glad to.
We'll be inaugurating our second phase.
Yes.
Probably in the second phase we will have BBC as a knowledge partner with us.
Wow, that's really great, sir. We'll be very glad to do that. In fact.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay.
Audience, any questions? If you have, please.
Any questions? Please feel free to ask me.
You can access the chat box, Ankita. There are questions coming in.
Okay.
If you are unable to access it, I can print it out for you.
Yes, just a minute.
MOU.
The chat box. I'm not able to. My question is, what is the procedure to take MOU with BBC? Dr. KR Sanjay is asking me this question. Sir, are you here online now? Can you brief me out what type of MOU you are talking about? Are you working in any institution or?
Sanjay sir, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
So I guess.
I think he is from academic institution.
Yeah. When I spoke about all these PES institutions, RV College and BMS that we have signed MOU with, I guess he's talking in a similar. Okay, his microphone is not working. He is mentioned here. So considering he is from a academic background, which consists of Department of Biotechnology in his institution, you please reach us, sir. I'll be leaving my email ID here in the chat box. You please write it to me. What kind of MOU you are interested in? How it can benefit your students and your. Okay, he's from JSS Science and Technology University. I'm very glad to have you, sir. I've gone through your website and I've heard a lot about your prestigious institution. Please feel free to reach us. We can discuss in length about this particular point. I'm leaving my email ID here in the chat box. Please reach me for this particular point, sir. Go ahead and.
Yeah, but what are the different types of MOU that you run with academic institution?
Sir, for it? Sorry?
You have separate sections for MOU or MOU? How is that?
Sir, it varies from institution to institution. We don't keep it very standard because the necessities of the students, necessities of the institution that we are signing with varies. So we keep it open. We create the MOU. We customize it along with the requirement of the HOD or principal of the particular institution and our director. So it will be mainly we'll be mainly interested when it comes to student. We'll be mainly interested in giving the facilities to them for their project at a very nominal cost, because if you come as an external user, the costs are different. But when you come with the institution that has already collaborated with us, the costs are different. So you can avail the facilities at a much more cheaper cost, and there will be internship opportunities that we provide. Many cases we have seen they will enter BBC Bangalore Bioinnovation Center in one of the startup as an intern. They'll perform well and they get placed there. So it is their career will be almost settled. So we have seen many such students from RB College, PES, and many more well-reputed colleges. So we'll be very glad to be associated with higher education institutes like yours.
Probably we will also approach you for our.
Definitely, sir. I'll be very glad. Very glad to do that.
And
Then visit your students. We take your students here. I already showed you the pictures, like how they interact with us. They will carry vast knowledge when they come here, sir, because the learning process is different. When they come here, see the startups actually how they work. They will give their entrepreneurial aspects also, the technical aspects also. Please bring your students here.
Yeah, definitely. Once they start coming to the college, definitely we'll plan it.
Okay. And ma'am, what is the duration of internship of mini projects that you will be giving?
It varies, madam. It goes with the requirement of the startups. I already said that there are 65 physically located companies here with us now, currently. So it varies to which startup the particular student will go to and how big is the project. And also it should be, we should also think in the academic aspect as well. It should end within 6 months because I hope it's a semester system everywhere, right? So it varies. Few sometimes they will go for 3 month internship, sometimes they will go for 6 months and then finish their academics and then come join as an employee. So all these cases we have seen. And there is Dr. Chetan DM from NMAIT. He's saying he's interested in going. Sir, we are already associated with Nidde University and NMAIT, I guess Dr. Anil Kumar, who's, I'm not sure if he's associate professor, I think so. So he's also associated with us and we have organized a lot of events with him. So last month we organized one workshop and he was extremely helpful in organizing that. And yeah, the HOD of biotechnology NMAIT is also in touch with him, with us. I guess he is Dr. Maman Rao, if I'm not wrong. Dr. Chetan is here.
No.
Okay. I guess he's muted. So we are already associated with Dr. Vaman Rao, Dr. Anil Kumar from NMAIT, and yeah, Dr. R. Mohan, who is the assistant professor from Excel College of Commerce and Science. He's also writing to us that, yeah, he has given me his contact. Yeah, I'll definitely approach. I'll just note it down. I'll definitely approach you, sir. So please reach our website. It's www.bioinnovationcenter.com. Please visit. And my phone number is 7411783050. I've left it in chat box. Please reach me for any kind of equipment requirements and any other requirements in reference with entrepreneurial aspects. Okay, so Mr. Praveen is also saying he is interested to have a collaboration. Please write it to me, sir. We can discuss in length about this personally. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So can we have a group photograph here if everybody makes a minute to turn on their videos?
Yeah. Dear participant, please turn on your video.
Can Salma ma'am, can you just take a screenshot here and?
Yeah, I will post the screenshots. I will share you the screenshot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Can we have all participants turning on their cameras, please?
Classroom ಖರಾಬಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಅಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ
Together. We have few students also who have joined us. You can turn on your cameras, people.
And I thank a lot Oxford institution for providing me an opportunity to be a speaker. I guess I'm well before 1.5 hours, which was time allotted for me. And please feel free to reach us, sir. We'll also be holding a lot of technical workshops. So if you pass on the email IDs of all the present participants here, I can invite about workshops that we do. So we recently organized molecular biology, basics of molecular biology, which will help students of like fourth semester, fifth semesters, etc. in the engineering students, as well as BSc microbiology, MSc microbiology. So we hold such workshops also. Due to the COVID last year, we couldn't do that, but definitely we are looking forward. This year we'll conduct the physical workshops wherein the students will learn how exactly the SDS page is run, how exactly you can extract the DNA, which is very important when it comes to their after they pass out of that particular institution. So we are holding a lot of such workshops, be it PCR, be it high-end centrifuge, and all that. So please be associated with us. Kindly share with me the email IDs of all the participants. I'll leave out such informative workshops that we hold.
Definitely, definitely.
So yes, that's all from my end. So if anything is there, please reach me.
Ma'am, thank you so much for being a guest speaker. And it was very informative in terms of grants and other things that the PC is reaching out to faculties and to startups. And I hope faculties have at least got some knowledge about it. And since they are open to any kind of collaborations, we can make use of it. And it is also helpful for students for their internship, for their mini projects. You guys can also approach them. So from the students, staff and management of the Oxford College of Engineering, I take it as a privilege and we are very grateful to you to be part of this FDP program. And we are coming up with two more phases of this FDP program, and we wish that you will remain associated with us for those two programs also, because the audience there will be different again.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is real opportunity that you also have given us to enlightening us in terms of the knowledge with regards to grants and fundings. So thank you from all of us from the Oxford College of Engineering and the teaching fraternity as a whole. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And yeah, I guess Mary Madam is joining at 11:30, and she'll go ahead with IP aspects.
So participants, thank you again to you all. And 11:30 we will start with the second session. From the same organization, we have Dr. Mary who will be joining us. Please do join us at that time using the link that is provided. So thank you to one and all.
Thank you so much to the HOD and all the faculty present here. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Chaitanya and Rashmi. Hope you people are joining every day.